Hey there, guys. Hey, I'm coming here at you somewhat backwards. I just wanted to show you the thing that I do to create friendlies. I know I talked about that just the other day and how important they are, and I was unable to create any at the time because we didn't have anything on the schedule we could create. So here we are right now. It's actually January 8th, and by the time that you see this video, we'll be past this first game, at least according to my plan, unless there is actually a plan for the Asia Cup qualifier before then. We haven't heard any word of that, so we're still paying attention to that. We'll see what happens. That might not happen until sometime in the summer. We'll see. So what you got to do here is, so we'll go back here and see this again. You go over to your schedule. I'll hit cancel here to get us out of this. Go over to schedule, and then you see this little thing down at the bottom, arrange friendly. You click on that. Now, remember what I said last time, right? We want to do friendlies on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So what we'll do here is we go over to Wednesday, and then we can click over here. We want to make sure that it's home, 90 minutes only. There are people who like to do like the league or a little cup or something like that. You can do that. I don't know. I'm not really up for it. We're going to do a friendly here against Athletic Club Taipei at home, and then we'll make another one up here. I went through that a little bit fast. Let's see if we can have another idea here. So we'll look at the Hongyuan, the next one there on the list. You can see right here, this is kind of small. My apologies for it. It says fee is 326 euro, income 659 euros. So we're going to be making about 300 something euro from this match. It's going to be the same for Athletic Club Taipei. And that's one of the reasons why we want to make sure we do this at home, not just so that our players can play and we can make sure they can play together, but we want to make sure also that we're getting money. Now you can see because of whatever reason, scheduling or something, it's probably not scheduling. The computer, like I say, is really bad at setting up these friendlies. Probably some other thing going on. All of those other teams we had under similar reputation teams are suddenly not there anymore. Very small reputation teams are all teams that will have no fee and no income associated. Now, you can look at foreign teams. This is what I was talking about. CS Lanaudière, which has got to be in Quebec somewhere, would cost us 52,000 euro. That would be our entire budget to play against them. Same thing here with Calgary Villains, 52,000 euro. We get no income. That would be a bad idea. We can go to nearby teams, interestingly enough, and we can choose the Taipei Skywalkers. And look at that. That gives us an income of almost 500 euros. So we do want to do that. And that's really sort of the key. As much as we possibly can, we want to make sure that we maximize our potential income. Here's one against Taipei PEC. I don't even know what that club is, and we think that's going to also be a popular match. We want to maximize our potential income as much as humanly possible, because the more that we can maximize that, the more money that we get just for playing games against Changgong University, which we usually play against. And the other one is Jiaotong University, if we see them come up. And there it is, Jiaotong University. I will play against them as well. Now, you'll notice that I can't go beyond March here in this scheduling, so we're not going to be able to get too deep into it, but we'll schedule one more here. Probably against Leopard Cat we could do. I'm just trying to see if we have anybody else who would pay us any money. So the other rule of thumb here, especially when it comes to home matches, is they're not going to let you schedule the same team over and over again. So usually when I schedule these, I'll do like 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'll stop. And we'll wait till we get to the end of that, and then I'll make the schedule for the new friendly list, because otherwise it gets upset with you, like the team won't accept 2 different friendlies on the road against you, like one after the other. So we'll play against Leopard Cat, I think, if they're not already on here. And so then we click on OK, and there you go. And then we have all these friendly proposals listed. The other thing you want to make sure, I think I mentioned this last time, is we don't want to have any games after April 10th if we can help it. Now, there might be an Asia Cup game or something like that that would kind of screw that up. But as much as possible, we want to make sure that we are rested. We have at least a week of rest before this Taichung Futuro match. Now, the other thing you'll notice here is that most of our matches are like once a week on either Saturdays or Sundays. And so you might be asking, why in the world do I have it so that we're playing 2 friendlies a week instead of 1? I'd recommend for teams at any league, at any level, to play 2 friendlies a week, no matter what, when it's friendly time. And again, the reason why is because that will help you maximize your dynamics. If you let the computer choose who to start, and I'd recommend doing that, it'll make sure that all of your players get at least some experience playing against each other, and it will help you get these really nice lines that show that the guys really like to play against each other and are used to each other. So that's really what you're going for. You want to maximize your opportunities. You want to make sure that you have as many chances as possible to ensure that your players are able to play against each other and are able to get along. That's really what it is. What you'll learn is that, especially when it comes to training, that more so than any of the training schedules or anything like that you have, so we'll take a look over here at our favorite schedule, the evidence-based training schedule. Even more so than match practice, actual games are what is really worth it. And that is the thing that will make it so that your players can get along well together and learn to sort of adapt and learn how to play together as a cohesive unit. That's the most important thing, right? You need to make sure that you have games in which they're playing against each other. It is true that your players might get injured, right? And so you do have to deal with that possibility. That's one reason why we always want to have a free week before the first game of the season, just in case. However, it's very, very important, even despite that injury risk, that you make sure that the players are playing as much as they can together, because there's no other thing that will help you get the tactical familiarity up. There's nothing else also that will help you get dynamics up and together like this as much as just having friendlies and just playing games. That's the key. So learn from those who've got some experience. You want to make sure that you schedule friendlies, and you really, really want to make sure that when you've scheduled the friendlies, that you schedule as many as you can. 2 a week is fine. I would be really, really careful, however, if you were going to go up to something like 3 a week, because if you start going kind of nuts with this, you run into, again, the problem of potential injuries and also potentially just not having enough players on your squad. So there you go. That's really what the recommendation is. Different people do different things. If you really want to be creative, you can pull in a whole bunch of trialists and just have the trialists go play the friendly, and then you get all the money in your finances, because you scheduled it. I mean, in theory, that's good. I don't know if I would necessarily want to do that, though, because you're going to miss out on the dynamic boost and on the tactical familiarity boost, which is what you're really trying to do. Other thing I should warn you about is if we go over here to arrange friendly, it's not going to let me do this now because I've already got it set up. But remember, we were talking about like a cup or a league. The problem that you have with a cup or a league is that it will end up having you play like 2 games one after each other, like on consecutive days. You don't want to do that. That's a really good way to get injured players, right? So, I mean, I know that there's extra money involved. I know that you can do the trialist trick and just injure players you weren't going to sign anyway and then send them about on their merry way. But if you're taking this seriously, and if you really are interested in maximizing dynamics and getting that tactical familiarity up, you don't want to do anything like that. Stick to individual friendly matches. Again, this is the voice of experience. I've tried it multiple ways in the years I've been playing Football Manager, and I've determined that really that 2-match-a-week friendly schedule is the thing that maximizes your ability to get the team together as a cohesive unit, right? So anyway, there you go. Our finances are not awful, but they're also not great. That what were we saying, like 500 euros or something per match is going to help a bit. If you're talking about like Premier League teams or whatever, you can see up to like 400 or 500,000 euros a match, right? I mean, the numbers get really crazy, and sometimes like television will choose to air your friendly match and stuff like that. So keep that in mind too. Again, even if you're playing with like PSG, Manchester City, one of these ultra rich teams that can never go broke, it is still within your best interest to schedule home friendlies and to do 2 a week and to try to get that extra money, right? As bizarre as it might seem, it actually is in your best interest to do this. It will at the very least help out your finances, but you might, if you do this from year to year, start noticing that your transfer budget keeps going up and suddenly you're able to buy an extra wonder kit every year, right? So take advantage of it. Pay attention to the finances and pay attention to the way that this works. If you do this and if you do it regularly, you're going to have a team that by the first game of the season is going to be better than every other team in the league, because you'll be the only team that knows their own tactic and that's used to playing together with each other. Anyway, there you have it. That's my spiel on friendlies. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.